All right, so I want to talk about balks for a second, because there's a misconception, it seems, with quite a few coaches, players, and umpires on a certain rule, right? And a situation came up in high school game the other day on Tuesday, where a balk was called. The other team was all yelling balk, and it wasn't a balk. And I didn't argue it. I just said it's not a balk. The other team's coaches were arguing with me about it. To the point that after the game, the umpire found me in the parking lot and came up with the rule and apologized for getting the call wrong and costing us a run because I was right. So MLB Rule 602A4, it's the same rule for high school, for youth baseball. I don't know the rule number in those books, but I do know the rule number for MLB. And it says if a base runner is advancing, attempting to advance, or indicating he's advancing to a base, the pitcher can throw to the unoccupied base. So the situation in our game was runner at second base, 2 outs. Outs don't matter in this case. As soon as my right-handed pitcher's leg came up, the runner starts to steal. So my pitcher throws to third. He's out by 10 steps. And everybody was yelling balk, which that was the call in the field. In between innings, I went over to the umpire who I had a great conversation with before the game. He seems really cool. I was just like, hey, can we discuss this? Because, like, I know the rule in pro ball. Maybe it's different in high school. I want to make sure I'm teaching my kids the proper way to do it. Here's the rule that I know. And he looked at it and he goes, well, it's a GHSA rule that they can't advance. I said, okay, thank you. And then the other school's coaches, every time they'd walk by our dugout, would make a comment about me not knowing the rules. And I said, I do know the rules, especially if it's pitching related. And I held my phone up with the rule book, and he goes, I still don't believe it. I was like, that's fine, buddy. Like, you don't have to believe it or not. It's right here in writing. And then the umpire came up afterwards in the parking lot and apologized. And, like, it was cool the way he did it. He's like, hey, Chris, can you come over here? I want to talk to you. And I was like, all right. So I thought he was going to, show me the high school rule. And he's got the high school rule book pulled up on his phone. And so I look at him like, dude, I believe you. Like, it's a high school rule. And he goes, no, read it. I read it. And I said, well, it basically says the same thing. And he goes, I know, I'm apologizing for not knowing that rule and getting the call wrong and costing your team a run. So just saying, there are some humble umpires out there. Much appreciated when that happens. Everybody's going to get calls wrong and stuff, but I just wanted to make this video to put out there for those of you that don't know, it is not a balk if a pitcher throws to an unoccupied base, if a runner's advancing or indicating that they're advancing. So if you didn't know it, now you do.